Good afternoon, friends. Satyam Vada Dharmachara, Satyamev Jayate. Welcome today news days on income tax, GST and corporate laws. Let's start from the income tax. Madras High Court, no deemed dividend if assessee wasn't a registered shareholder in a lending company. In this case, where the assessing officer treated loan received by the assessee company from another company as deemed dividend under section 222E in view of the decision in case of the CIT versus T. Abdul Wazid and company, since assessee was not a shareholder in said company from it received a loan, such loan amount could not be treated as deemed dividend under section 2 clause 22E in hands of the assessee. Another case, Bangalore Tribunal. Assessing officer cannot change valuation method adopted by the assessee while determining fair market value of the shares under section 56. To determine fair market value of the shares under section 56 subsection 2 7b, an assessee may adopt either net asset value method or discounted cash flow method. Assessing officer can determine a fresh valuation but cannot change method of valuation which has been opted by assessee. Another case, Gujarat High Court. Trust engaged in management of liquid and solid waste in industrial area is eligible for Section 11 relief, where assessee trust was engaged in activity of management of liquid and solid waste in industrial area and thereby earn profit. An assessing officer concluded that assessee was not engaged in activities which were charitable in nature but were business activities as per section 2 clause 15, since dominant object of the assessee was preservation of the environment as envisaged under section 2 clause 15. It was carrying out charitable activities and was entitled to seek exemption under section 11. Another case, Supreme Court, no capital gain arise on reorganization of the firm if assessee, if assets and liability were retained by firm. A special leave petition dismissed against High Court ruling that where assessee firm decided to reorganize its business where why couple of the partner were retired and fresh partner were inducted, but assets and liability relating to the business remain with the assessee firm. It was a case of the reconstitution of the firm, and thus no capital gain could be said to arise under section 45 clause 40 subsection 4. Next case, Mumbai Tribunal, slum sale consideration kept in the escrow account taxable in year of the receipt as it was subject to fulfillment of the condition. In this case, where the during previous years, assessee had sold its marketing division by way of the slum sale, but in computation of the income, assessee had showing part of the capital gains and remaining was kept in the escrow account, and assessee explained that balance would accrue to assessee in 5 equal yearly installment on fulfillment of the certain obligation, but the assessing officer brought entire amount including that kept in escrow account to tax as income of the assessee for assessment year under consideration. Assessing officer was not justified in taxing entire gain in relevant year. Next case, GST. Appellant Advance Authority ruling Maharashtra, no input tax credit available of the GST part on lift installation charges paid to the lift contractor by society. In this case, where the appellant, a cooperative housing society paying GST on maintenance charges collected from its member, is availing burst contact services from lift contractor for replacement of the lift in society, which after being installed being immovable property, input tax credit in respect of the GST paid on the such burst contact services would not be admissible to appellant as society itself is not a burst contract service provider and burst contract service is received by society for common benefit of members. Next case, appellant advance authority ruling, Rajasthan product fortified rice kernels not having essential character of the natural rice classified under heading 1904900. Let's cover a news on the banking. RBI issued press release on 9th October. In this press release, RBI keeps a repo rate unchanged at 4%. RBI keeps the policy repo rate under the liquidity adjustment facility unchanged at 4%, and the reverse repo rate remains unchanged as 3.35%, and the marginal outstanding facility rate and the bank rate at 4.25%. Monetary Policy Committee also decided to continue with the accommodative stance as long as necessary, at least during the current financial year and into the next financial year, to revive growth on a durable basis and mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 on the economy. Let's cover news on the SEBI. There is a lot of the circular notification issued on 8 October. SEBI circular dated 8 October 2020. SEBI releases additional guidelines on inter-scheme transfer of the securities. In this circular, SEBI has come out with the additional safeguard to ensure that transfer of the securities from one scheme to another scheme in the same mutual fund are in conformity with the investment objective. Guidelines for the inter-scheme transfer of the securities in mutual fund provide that if a security gets downgraded following inter-scheme transfer IST within the period of the 4 month, fund manager of the buying scheme has to be provide detailed justification to the trustee for purchasing such security. SEBI issued notification on 8 October. SEBI tweaks debenture trustee regulation. SEBI has amended norms relating to the debenture trustees. Regulation 14 has been amended, requiring every debenture trustee shall to accept the trust deed which shall contain the matters as specified in section 71 of the Companies Act 2013 and form number SH12 as specified under the company's share capital and debenture rules 2014. Such trust deeds shall consist of the two parts: part A containing statutory information on debt issue, part B containing specific details to the particular debt issue. Another notification issued by SEBI. In this notification, SEBI amends norms relating to the listing obligation and disclosure requirement. SEBI has amended the norms relating to the listing obligation and disclosure requirement. Amendment has been made to the Regulation 54 requiring listed entities to maintain 100% asset cover as per the terms of the offer document or information memorandum or debenture trust deed sufficient to discharge the principal amount at all times of the non-convertible debt securities issued. Amendment has also made to Regulation 56(1)(d) and Schedule 3 of the regulation. Next notification issued by SEBI on 8 October. SEBI amends norms relating to the issue and listing of the debt securities. SEBI has amended the norm relating to the issue and the listing of the debt securities regulation 2008. A new regulation 21B relating to the creation of the security has been inserted, which requires issuers to give an undertaking in the information memorandum that the asset on which charge is created are free from any encumbrances on, and in cases where assets are already charged to secure a debt, the consent to create a second or pari passu charge has been obtained from the earlier creditor. This is finish news desk on the income tax, GST and corporate laws. We are trying to cover income tax, GST, international taxation, transfer pricing, including transfer pricing, banking, FEMA and SEBI laws and other allied laws, which are helpful for the professional, especially chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant, and other community lawyers which are practicing in the tax laws and corporate laws. As the useful, this all updates on daily basis is very useful for uh, those professionals. So thank you so much for watching our news days on the income tax, GST and corporate laws. Thank you so much.